Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, you are welcome to Al-Jemila fashion. In today's video, we'll be looking at this beautiful luxurious abaya. So we have our crepe fabrics. I have crepe fabrics of 3 yards. Our nets, this is a sample net of 2 yards. Then my lining, I got a lining of 1.5. So I have my armor cuff, my tape rule, my matching color thread, my chalk, my scissors, and my ruler, then a matching color zip. So the first thing we are going to do is that we are going to fold our fabrics. We fold it into 2, like so. So at the close edge, the other parts, we are going to try to form a triangle. So that's just it. You form a triangle like this. So after forming our triangle, so we are cutting the lower part first. So after cutting the triangle, I went. So for the lower part, my waist measurement is 33 inches plus 7 inches. That's 40 inches. So 40 inches divided by 3.14. So that will give you the depth of what I'm working with. So I think I got 11 inches. So I use that 11 inches to form that circle that you're seeing down there. So once I'm done with that, I just went ahead to cut it out. So, and that's me cutting it out. So I'm done cutting here. So I just had to shift my gown, the lower part upward in order for us to be able to view what I'll be doing next. So what I did next was that for the lower part, you know that we have an upper part. So the upper part I'm using was 16.5. So I just placed my tape rule on the 16 inches. I placed my tape rule on 16 inches instead of 16 inches exactly. So what I did was just place it on the 16 inches instead of 16.5. So once I place it on 16 inches, then I take my gown length. So the gown length I'm working with is 54 inches plus 1 inches for seam allowance, and then for the hemming the down part of the flare gown. So I just take my measurements. After measuring it, I connected the lines, and then I started cutting it so that I'll be able to get an effective flare. So that's what I am doing here. So I'm just trying to cut it out. So I want to remove the excess once I'm done cutting. So you see the view of the down part. Don't forget, for the waistline, you have to add 7 inches. You can add more than 7 inches to your waist. I mean the upper part. So you can add more than 7 inches, but because of the fact that I was managing my fabrics, so I didn't have enough fabrics and I just wanted to manage it for the clients. So that was what I did. So my waist measurements plus 7 inches divided by 3.14. So that will get you the circumference of the waist. So that's just all about that. So after cutting, this is the finished look. So yours, when you're making yours, it should look exactly the way I cut mine. So I'm working with the lining. So I want to use the lining to cut the upper part. So the first thing I did was I folded my fabric into 2. So and I ruled out the starting point. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 15.5. So 15.5 plus 1/2 inch for seam allowance, that's 16 inches. So half of that is 8 inches. So I marked out my 8 inches. So after marking it out, I went ahead to mark my armhole. the armhole I'm working with is 9 inches, so I just chalked it out like this. So I just came down by 9 inches for the armhole area. So that's me marking out the 9 inches, and I just rule it out. So the next thing I did was to confirm I went ahead to confirm if the 9 inches was correct. So after doing that, I went ahead to mark out my 8 inches and connected the lines together. So once I'm done connecting, once I'm done connecting the lines, I went ahead to mark my half length. So the half length I'm working with is 16 inches initially. So I added 1 inches for seam allowance. I added 1 inches to it, so making 17 inches. So that's me marking out the 17 inches. So the bust measurement I'm working with is 38 inches. So quarter of that will be 9 and quarter. So 9 and quarter, I added 2 inches to it. I added 1 inches for seam allowance. So after adding the 1 inches, I added extra 1.5 inches, making 2.5 inches. So at the down part, the waist area I'm working with is 32 inches. So quarter of that is 8 inches, and I added 2 inches plus 1 inch for side seam allowance. I later went ahead to add 1 inches to it, making 4 inches. So for the down part, I added 4 inches to it. So that was what I did at the down part. So just add, don't forget, whatever you had at the lower part on your waist area is what you should add at the waist area when you are making the upper part. So it will make it more fitted and more bigger. So that was what I did there. So at the neck area, so for the neck area, I make use of 3.5 for the wideness of my neck, and I came down by 8 inches. That was for the neck depth that I used was 3.5 by 8 inches. So that was the neck. So I just connected it. I connected it into a V, like so. So after connecting it, I came in by 2 inches. So after connecting it, so I came down by 1 inches for the shoulder slope. So that's for the shoulder slope of 1 inches, and I also added half an inch for the shoulder seam allowance. So that's me connecting half inches to it. So I'll be using half inches to connect the shoulders together. So when I'm done with that, I went ahead to cross check. I wanted to cross check it, so I went ahead to cross check. So after doing that, I came in by 2 inches. So just 2 inches, then connect them to the neck width. So that's me connecting it. So just connect them together, then connect them to the neck. So that's me connecting it to the neck. So if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll be posting more abayas after this video. So after that, I went back to the armhole because we haven't connected the armhole initially. So I just took out my armhole cuff. So for the armhole, remember I used 9 inches. 9 inches minus 1 inch, that's 8 inches. So half of that will be 4 inches. That's me marking the 4 inches. So I just connected it to the armhole, and that's all. We are good to go. And that's all for the front pieces of our abaya. So let's go ahead and cut it out. So we are done cutting, and that's how it looks. So we are going now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the back part. So for the back pieces, we are trying, that's the starting point. I'm marking out the starting point. So I also went ahead to mark my 8 inches. So for the shoulder, I make 8 inches. So for my armhole, I still went ahead to mark my 9 inches for the armhole. Then I repeated the process 8 inches and then connect the lines together for the armhole side. So after that, I just extend the line to the front. So for this, I went ahead to take my half length measurement. I used 16 inches plus 1 inches for seam allowance, making 17 inches. So we are done with that. So for the neck depth, I didn't use 3.5 like for the front. I used 3 inches for the back. So I came down by 1 inch and connect it to the armhole. To the neck area rather. So after connecting it, I went ahead. So I have 8 inches there, divided by 2, that will be 4 inches. So I marked my 4 inches. So after that, I went ahead to check my bust measurement, 9.25 plus 3 inches for sizing. So for the waist area as well, I used 8 inches plus 5 inches. 8 inches plus I length out 8 inches. Cut off my waist measurement is 8 inches plus, so making 4 inches, that's 5 inches. So I just connected it together. So for the down part, that's 5 inches. So for the neck depth, I make use of 1.5 inches for the neck depth. So for the armhole area, so I just connected the armhole with my French cuff. So when I'm done with that, I just went ahead to cut it out, and we are done with the back pieces. So we'll be using this lining to, don't forget at that side, later went ahead to add half an inch to it to join the upper part, to join the shoulder to one another. So I added half an inch. I forgot to add it when I was cutting it, so I added half an inch to the shoulder area. So we are going to be using these pieces to cut the sample nets. So you can get any beautiful sample nets of your choice. So we have them in different types. So be using these pieces to cut out the net for the upper part. So this is it. This is the back pieces, and that's the front pieces. So I went ahead to place my sample net. I placed it into 2, the same way I folded this, my front and back. So I'll be using that lining, or you call it, that's a lining. So but I didn't really get a lining. I used a taffeta. That's what we call it here. We call it taffeta. So I used taffeta. You can use anything that you like. Well, so I use that taffeta. So I'll be placing it on top of the net to trace it out. So you see that's me placing it on top of it, and I'll be using it to trace them out. So this is me tracing it out. So when I'm done with the front and back, so I just place them on top of and then put them aside. So I'll be cutting the sleeve now. So that's me tracing out the sleeve. So I won't be double folding the down part, so I'll just be tracing it out. So when I'm done with this video, I'll have to trim it properly. So the length of the client that I'm working with, the length of our sleeve is 22 inches. So I added half an inch to the sleeve length, making 22.5 inches. So that's me marking the 22.5 inches. So once I'm done marking, I'll just try and connect the lines together. I just finished connecting the lines. So from there, I came down to so for the wideness of the sleeve, I made it 14 inches. You might make it bigger depending on what you want. So from that place, I came down by 3 inches. So I just went ahead to mark the shape of the armhole. So I just mark it there, just a free hand. So once I'm done with that, I came down by, I want to cross check the armhole. So the armhole I'm working with is 9 inches and I added 1 inches. You can add 1.5 depending on what you had. So I added 1.5 inches to it, making 10.5. Then from there I came down by 10. So I came down by 10 inches. So I just mark out the 10 inches. That's me marking the 10 inches. So I mark 10 inches. So for a short round sleeve, I use 6 inches for her. 6 inches plus 1 inch for. So I added 1 inch for ace and then 1 inch for side seam allowance. So for our upper arm, so I mark 7 inches. 7 inches. So plus 1 inches for ace as well, and then 1 inch for side seam allowance, and I connected the lines together. So after connecting the line, it should look something like this. So I guess my shock is not showing more view to the video, so I should have used a more brighter chalk, but I guess you still see it. So at the lower part, I came up by 1 inches. So and I just strictly trim it off a little bit. But if you don't want to come up by 1 inches, you can leave yours like that. but I want mine to be curvy, so I don't want it to be sharp. So that's me tracing it out. Once we are done with this, I'm going to use this pattern to cut the other parts of the sleeve, and we are done with the cutting parts. So that's me folding the fabric into two pieces. So I'll be using the first one to cut out the other part. So and once we are done with cutting, tracing it out, then we are good to go. So that's all for the cutting parts. So moving to the sewing part, so what I did was that I placed my net, the front parts, and placing them on top of themselves, right side facing right side. So I'll stitch the shoulder and stitch the other part of the shoulder. So I'll just stitch both shoulders together for the net part. So for the lining, don't forget I'm using a taffeta. So for this lining, I'm going to do it the same way, right side facing right side, and just stitch the shoulders, the two shoulders, stitch them, place them together, place them on top of one another, and stitch. So that's me placing them on top of one another and stitching them. So let's go to the sewing part. So this is me stitching the side. So just do it the same way I did it, and I'm very sure you're going to get a very good effect. So once I was done, I just notched the back. So the notch the back of the lining, and also do the same for the net. Notch the back as well. So this will help us to know the center of the back. So once you are done notching, so you place them right side facing right side. So the net right side on the back, on the lining right side. So I'm going to join all sides. Join all sides first. So once we are done joining all the sides, join the side, all sides first. Once you are done joining them, so just keep joining. That's me joining the sides. So I'm done joining the side. What I did was just I brought it out. So that's then once you brought them out, they'll be wrong side facing wrong side. So that's me. You can see it. So I'm going to start my sewing from the center back. That's the purpose of notching the center back. So we are going to start stitching it from that side. Stitch it. We are going to keep stitching it till we get to the front. So that's me stitching it to the front. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to move to the other leg or other side. So we are going to stitch that, and it will meet. It's going to meet at the back. So Just keep stitching. So just keep stitching it. So I'm done with that. So once you are done with that, it should look exactly like this. So I'll be facing it to the front part. So I'll go ahead and give it a good press. Let me give it a good press and show you. So I'm done giving it a good press. You can see the outcome. It's looking beautiful without us finishing the dress. So if you are following me, yours should also look the same as this. So what we are going to do next is we are going to work on the front part first. So just fold them into two and just measure the front parts. So we are going to measure it. Let's see what we are having over there. So when I finished measuring it, I had 20.5 inches. So I've already cut the front, the bias, the taping for the front. So once you are making yours, mine was 20.5, so I added extra 6 inches to it. So it is better for it to be longer than for it to be shorter. So and the width of this is 2.5 inches. So initially we removed 2 inches from the front, so we'll be joining it back with the half inches that I added to it. So now open it up. I added an interface as well. Yes, you need to put an interface to the dress to make it the color to stand very well. So my client didn't like something that was too thick, so I had to just use this soft stage, this soft color stage. That was what I used for her. So you can see me pointing at the center, so that will be the center. So that's the center. So I'll be taking my measurements from the neck area. So the depth of my front neck length, don't forget, be from the depth of the neck line. So we are going to take our measurements from there. So from the back, just measure it to the length of the neck. I mean the neck depth for the front part. So that's me marking it, and when I finished marking it, I think I got 13.5. So I later went ahead to make it 14 inches because I wanted it to be a bit open a little. So from that side, we are going to take our tape rule and mark out the 14 inches. So just mark out the 14 inches. So that's me trying to mark out the 14 inches. So I marked it 14 inches. That me marking is 14 inches. That place that I marked will be open. So from that 14 inches, then you're going to stitch it down. So let's go to the sewing table and stitch it together. So that's me stitching it. So just stitch it. So you can see it. I'm stitching on the center of the marked line. So once you are done stitching, you have to open it up. So I just open it up. Don't forget, make sure you give it a good press. This will make it relax very, very well. So I went ahead to give it a very good press. So and I also went ahead to notch the center. So that will be the notch. That center that I marked, that I just notched, is the center back. So we are going to be using this later. So that's the center back. So I'll be placing it on the center to center, the notch part. So make sure whatever side you want, maybe it is whatever side you want to place, just make sure whenever you are placing them, make sure you place them on the smoothest part. So I'm placing them, so I'll go ahead and stitch them. So just stitch them. So I started stitching it from the center back. So that's me stitching. So I'll have to stitch it down to the front part. So just keep stitching. Once I'm done with that, I'll move it to the other side and stitch from the back as well. So I went ahead and I stitched from that side. So you stitch from the other side the same way I did mine. Just stitch, keep stitching until when you are done with the stitching. So you can see the excess. I'm going to be trimming that off later. So that's me. Once I'm done, I'll go ahead to my sewing table. I'm going to go ahead and iron it. So I went ahead to give it a good press, and look at it. It has relaxed and it is very beautiful. So you have to flip your dress to the back. After flipping it, so that's me flipping it. So right side facing right side, and stitch them on the side. So for the side, I made use of 1 inches. So just stitch it with 1 inches. So stitches, this is me stitching it. I went ahead to stitch both sides. Just stitch it with 1 inches. So that once you are done stitching, you take it back to the machine. So I want us to take note of something. This place I came up by 1 inches and also came down by ½ inches. So on that 1 inches, you can see it. From that 1 inches, I stitch it up, and that 1 inch I just open it up. Look at me. I opened that 1 inch up and left, and I lock the ½ inches. So once you are done with that, so I have this my strip. This one I marked that the length of that strip is 2½ inches. So I'll be marking 2 inches on the dress, so take note of that. So I marked 2 inches, 2 inches all round. Just make sure you mark 2 inches all round. Mark 2 inches. So I'm still marking 2 inches here, so I just mark 2 inches. So once you are done with the mark, just connect the lines together. So we are done connecting the lines. So you go back to that my strip. This one is meant to form a casing for the rope. So I used my lining. So don't forget, this is just not an ordinary line, it's a taffeta. It is very strong. So I'm going to be placing it the way I'm showing you on the video. So just simply place them like that. So once you are done placing, just stitch them. So I've done stitching them. My camera went off over there, so I didn't take note of it. So once I'm done stitching, so you can see the stitching, just flip it to the other side. You have to flip it to the front, to the side. Look at it. You can see how I flip it. Just make sure you do just like that, so you can see it. So I flipped it. So I'll go ahead and brace it now, or you substitch anyone you like. So let me substitch it. So this is me substitching it. You can see the opening. So just make sure when you are fixing this, you have to be more careful. So you draw you draw them together. Make sure to draw them together. Just draw them. Keep drawing them. You can see the way I'm doing it. So the dress is very simple and it came out very nice. So I'm done with that. You can see the opening. So I'll go ahead. Before that, we are going to put that aside. So this is the lower part. So for the lower part, you are going to look at the right side facing right side. We are going to stitch both sides with 1 inch. So you stitch one side with 1 inch, and you also stitch the other side with 1 inches. So that's me stitching it. So I'll go ahead and stitch it. So you stitch it till you get to the down part. So I'm still cross-checking whether it is the right side. So that's me stitching it. So keep stitching, you keep stitching the side. So that's all. Once I'm done stitching, I'm going to join the lower part to the upper part. So make sure when you are joining, check So before joining anyway, I went ahead to launch. I folded it into two like so and launch it. So I'll be using both center. So one will be serving for the back and the other will be serving for the front center. So that's all for that. So for this, that is the center. So I'll be placing my center back there. Make sure when you're joining, right side facing right side. The front already has the center. By the time you're making yours, you will know what you see what I am doing. So that's me. I'm trying to give it a notch. I want to give my center back a notch. So I've notched the center back. So I'll be placing them right side facing right side. Center back to center to the both center. So that's just it. So I'm just trying to adjust it here. So that's me stitching it. So make sure you stitch them. So I went ahead to stitch them together. So I stitch and I kept stitching until I was done with the stitching for both the upper parts and the lower parts. Don't forget to whip all the body, all the side. So I did my whipping once I was done with the video. So but right now I did not stitch it. Make sure you give it a good stitching, a good whipping rather, once you are done. So what I'll do next is that I'll go ahead to put in the rope, the inner rope that will be inside. So I'll go ahead and fix it and I'll show you my. So because I discovered the video was too long, so I just had to shorten the video a little. So I fixed the rope and you can see the next thing I'll be doing is to fix the sleeves. So I will be fixing the sleeves. So the sleeve, for the sleeve, make sure you fix them, you place them together, right side facing right side. So just center to center. So that's me fixing the sleeve. Once I'm done fixing, I'll go ahead and whip the down part and the inner part, and I'll show you the finish look of the dress. So that's me working on the sleeve. So if you're a first timer, when you're fixing your sleeve, just be careful. Just be careful. Make sure you don't join them more than half an inch. If you join them more than half an inch, the dress will be very funny. So I used half an inch for the joining. So once I'm done with the one side, I'll go ahead and repeat the process on the other side and show you the finished look of the dress. So this is me still joining, and this is the finished look of the dress. If you find the video helpful, so don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment.